Hi, today I'd like to talk about recentering in a time of insanity. I feel like there's a collective insanity going on. I'm not even sure how long it's been going on for, but I feel like it's very apparent right now. I feel like the insanity has been going on for way longer than I've been alive, since before I was born. Centuries, perhaps even millennia. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. But I also feel like the insanity is peaking, or maybe not even peaking, it's just rising. I don't know where the peak is. I feel like the rules that the society works under are becoming readily apparent that they only apply to the masses of people, not to the people who are in charge. It's also become apparent to me that the people who are in charge are not necessarily the people who were voted in. We have all these rules and punishments for not following the rules that are applied to the vast majority of people, but not to the people that run this society. That's one part of the insanity. Now, I'm going to go into that a little bit more, but there's other parts of the insanity. The other parts are hurting the other beings that we live with. Not just like other humans, but like forests and animals and plants. There's an insanity of these stories that we tell ourselves to make sense of existing on this earth. But yeah, let's start somewhere. Let's start with rules and punishments. I read about a guy who was arrested for going to stores like Target and Walmart, among other stores, and he would use the self-checkout lane to purchase multiple 99-cent packets of taco seasoning. The packets were rectangular, and they were just the right size to hide baseball playing cards. So instead of buying the baseball playing cards, he would buy the 99-cent taco packets, and he would hide the baseball card packet right behind it and put it in the bin at the self-checkout. And he would buy multiple rounds of this. 99 cents, 99 cents, 99 cents, 99 cents, 99 cents. Well, he did this over and over again, and he sold the baseball trading cards online for about $40,000. Well, he got caught. I'm not sure how he got caught, but he got caught. And he's facing up to 90 years in prison. 90 years. Meanwhile, the whole world is learning that there's this group of men that rape children, possibly even murder them. I would think that raping and murdering children would require a punishment greater than stealing baseball cards from a Target. So if that guy's facing up to 90 years in prison, I would think that pedophiles and child murderers should face a penalty that's much stiffer than 90 years in prison. But it's very clear, it's very apparent that the FBI and the Department of Justice have no intention of prosecuting any of these men, despite ample tips, information that is not followed up on. In fact, is hidden. Pages are hidden from the public. Not only hidden from the public, just not followed up on by the top law enforcement in this nation. I mean, that just seems crazy to me. Stealing baseball cards by hiding them behind 99-cent taco packets gets you up to 90 years in prison. Raping children, murdering children, disappearing them, burying their bodies. No consequence. In fact, you're protected. You know, why do we follow these rules if the rules are not enforced fairly? Why do we have this? Why are there so many people in prison in the United States? And then their labor is used at pennies on the dollar. Well, I mean, I think I answered the question why we have so many people in prison in the United States. It's because they're a source of very cheap labor. Yeah. Here's another insanity. My wife and I like to go out on like a date night once a week, where we go out and we get some food somewhere. 'Cause we usually cook at home. Like I cook or she cooks. Kind of take turns cooking. I used to be a really horrible cook, but over the years I've gotten better and I can make some yummy stuff at home. And so, you know, we eat mostly at home. But once a week we go out and we eat some food somewhere. We had gone out to eat somewhere, but the food wasn't that great, and we were still hungry. And so my wife suggested, hey, why don't we go get some French fries? So we drove around and we ended up going to a Five Guys burger joint. It's the name of the burger joint. No, we didn't go there to have burgers. We went there to have fries. They got good fries. And I ordered fries, and we were waiting for the fries because we ordered it without salt, because I think salt is a contributor to a lot of health problems in the United States, because I think Americans eat too much salt for how much they're sweating. Like if you sweat a ton, like if you're working construction in Arizona or Texas or something, you gotta eat salty to like replenish the salt that's lost in your sweat. But the majority of people aren't doing that, and the food is just really salty here, and I think that causes a whole host of health problems. I think it causes people to gain weight, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, blood vessel problems, autoimmune problems. May contribute to other problems like cancer as a contributing factor with other things. So we're waiting for the fries because when you order it without salt, they got to cook a new batch because they can't just take the fries that have been cooked already, that have been salted already, and throw it in the bag because you asked for no salt. So we're waiting for the fries to be cooked, a fresh new batch. And I look at the menu, I look at the prices, and I wrote it down to share with you what the prices are. Except I turned my phone off, so I gotta turn it back on and let you know. But while we're waiting for this to boot up, I can tell you I have vague recollections of eating at like McDonald's and when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure you could get a cheeseburger, fries, and soda, fountain drink. Pretty sure you could get it for like $5 or something. In fact, I thought like sometimes you could get like 2 quarter-pounder cheeseburgers. I don't know. It's been such a long time ago. It's hard to remember how much it costs, but I thought you could get a cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for like $5. This was in the 90s, 1990s. Well, my phone's booted up, so I can read to you the prices of what a cheeseburger costs at Five Guys today. Now, granted, it's not McDonald's, but it's still like a walk-in place. It's not a restaurant. There's no waiter. You go up to the counter, you order, and then they call your name when the order is done. You walk and you pick it up, and then you sit down. It's not a fancy place. It's pretty much a fast food place. I mean, I think it is still a fast food place. Baby? Just gotta make sure. Doobie! Doobie! Doobie, come back! I lost track of her. So she went behind this tree and I couldn't see her. I see her now. Okay. Here's the cost of cheeseburger meal at Five Guys today, 2026. Cheeseburger, $12.89. If you add bacon, it's $14.39. Regular fries, $6.69. Regular drink, $3.29. It doesn't come as a package like I was talking about before, where like a quarter pounder fries and a drink cost, I thought it was like $5 or $6, something like that. Well, if you add up a cheeseburger with bacon with a regular fries and a regular drink, that comes out to be $24.37. That's like 5 times the amount that I think it was in the 90s. But memory is a funny thing. I may be wrong about how much a quarter pounder meal cost at McDonald's in the 90s. I'm sure there's someone who could verify whether or how accurate that estimate is. There's got to be records of that somewhere. But in my recollection, the cost of a cheeseburger meal today is like 5 times the amount it was 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. Now, I can tell you for certain that wages have not increased 5 times. I can be 100% certain that wages have not increased with the rate of inflation. I don't think anyone will argue with that. Doobie's really good at playing hide and seek today. Hey, Doobie! Doobie, come back! Come back, girl! She's very, very adventurous. You're a good girl. Are you having fun? This is a neat little spot, isn't it? Here, let's say hi to the camera. Look at this little adventurer. Now, you be careful, okay? Because I know there's some coyotes that live nearby, so you just be careful. Okay, you can go explore some more. Go. Yeah, wages have not kept up with inflation. So let's just say you saved up some money and you're like, oh yeah, I can live off this money for a set amount of time. Well, that money gets inflated away. You can't buy food that you thought you could for the same price. Not anymore. There are all these reasons that companies have to increase, they say they have to increase prices. I mean, you got a banking system that requires inflation to inflate away old debt. Otherwise, the old debt will be crushing. It'll stop up the system. But it's essentially just stealing wealth from people who saved up money. It's making debts go away gradually. Well, that's all fine if wages kept up with inflation. If wages increased 5 times, like if you got paid 5 times as much as you did in the 90s, well, I mean, maybe that'd be okay. Then everyone's debt gets inflated away, but it doesn't work that way. No, we all agree to live in this system where we all get squeezed more and more. It's insane. Yeah, I agree, baby. Well, then there comes the insanity of killing people. Again, going back to the rules. The rules, if you murder somebody, well, you could be executed in the United States. Some states have capital punishment, some don't. Some will just put you away for life. Life in prison until you die. Yeah, we have people who celebrate murdering people. They're happy about it. The stocks of defense companies shoot up. Shareholders and CEOs of weapons makers really happy, popping champagne. Just today, a ship was torpedoed. A warship, an Iranian warship, was torpedoed by a United States submarine. That hasn't happened since World War II. Does that mean we're in World War III now? Could this be looked back upon as the beginning of World War III? Haven't we learned our lessons after 2 world wars that it's horrible? Why are we killing people in the Middle East? Why are we bombing them? Well, I think it's to get their oil. But there's all this murder going on. Aren't there rules against murder? Aren't there rules against war crimes? But nobody gets prosecuted. It's like the depraved rich men that rape children and murder children, bury them, disappear them. Where's the justice? Why are the rules not enforced to them? Why are the rules not enforced to people who murder hundreds of school children, who bomb civilians, blow them up? Where are the rules? Why are the rules not enforced? Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the insanity, and I'm going to talk about recentering. So now it seems that the United States pretty much has free reign over all the oil deposits that aren't controlled by other nuclear powers, Russia and China. China doesn't have that much. China has to import a lot of oil. Russia has a lot, but they've got a lot of nuclear weapons, so the United States isn't messing with them. Isn't bombing them, because that'll blow up the whole world. But they are messing with them. They're sanctioning them. But now Venezuela and Iran and Iraq and Libya and Saudi Arabia and Nigeria, all these oil fields are working with the United States now, either voluntarily or under duress, mostly under duress from threat of being killed. Essentially stolen oil. And the United States wants to burn all of it, even though we know that the climate is changing rapidly due to burning fossil fuels. Not just oil, natural gas, also coal. The climate is changing rapidly due to deforestation. Cutting down forests like this to clear land for people's houses, farms, grazing land for animal agriculture, to feed the people's desire to eat animals. But people make arguments on this channel that if people went vegan, then you'd only need 1/6 of the land to grow food that we use right now. You could save a lot of forests, and that's true. That is true. That if people just ate plants, we could use a lot less land. We could save a lot of forests, but that doesn't solve the problem of cutting down the forest for food, cutting down the forest to plant food. It just lessens the severity. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, but it doesn't solve the problem. And people it seems to me, people think that oh, that's just the solution. No, it's not a solution. It's maybe part of the solution, but it wouldn't solve this problem that we're in. It could make it better, you see, but it's not going to solve the problem. The problem, I think, lies in the insanity of our collective insanity, that we think we can just do all these things and somehow everything will be okay. We'll survive. I think that's the insanity. Yeah. Well, I was talking about the climate changing really quickly. So it's changing like, it's changing so fast that if you graph the temperature changes over millions of years, it kind of does this thing. And then you get to about 100 years ago, and then it goes straight up like a wall. That's how quickly our temperature is changing. Instead of having a nice gentle curve over millions of years, now we're hitting a wall. Well, what happens when you hit a wall? When you're driving and then you crash into a cement wall, come back, girl, come back. When you're driving and you hit a cement wall, well, your whole vehicle and your being just get obliterated. As opposed to, like, say, crashing into a river. Well, the water kind of like slows you down gradually. I mean, you may still hit pretty hard, but your vehicle and you will probably, you'll probably still be alive. But if you're going 100 miles an hour into a cement wall, a thick cement wall, there's no way, you die. The rate of change is too great for you to survive as a human being in a body. Well, the rate of change that's happening right now from us burning these fossil fuels is too great for the vast majority of life to survive. It's like going 100 miles an hour and then hitting a brick wall and coming to a complete stop, like almost instantaneously. It's like that. Yet, United States is burning all this fossil fuel, sending carrier groups all around the world to bomb people to get them to agree to give the United States their oil, so that we can burn it. We're not going to bomb them and say, hey, we're bombing you because you're burning it, and if you burn it, we're all going to perish, probably go extinct. So we're actually sending our military out to stop people from burning fossil fuels. So that's why we're doing that. No, that's not why. It's so that we can burn it. That'd be an interesting alternative history. A nation going around the world to stop people from burning fossil fuels, but in the process they have to burn fossil fuels to move their carrier groups around, and bomb people into not using fossil fuels. It doesn't really make sense. But yeah, that's not what's happening. So there's just like this insanity that, why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense to me. It's illogical to me. It's like we're on a bus and we're like painting over the windows, the driver's window, with black paint so that the driver can't see. And then we're like tying his foot to the accelerator and then putting a cement block on his foot so that he can't lift it up. He can't even see where he's going. We have no idea where we're all going. Nobody knows. We know it's not going to end well. Dewey's having a good time. I can see her over there. She's over there now, by that big tree. This is a pretty neat area. I'm glad that she can have some fun and go explore. She's pretty good about not going too far. Hey, you having fun? Did you find anything cool? Did you find something cool? Her tail's this. Oh, you can see her right there. She's not very camouflaged with this area. Well, let's hide the camera again. And let's talk. Let's shift the focus now. So we have this time of insanity, and I think it really bends me out of shape. I get bent out of shape. I get angry. I get sad. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless at times. I'm outraged. I feel disgust. I feel horrified. I feel fearful too. What do I fear? Well, that's an interesting thing. What do I fear? I guess my deepest fears go to living in a neighborhood overcome with Christian nationalism and racism. Like a weird perversion of Christianity where people essentially do the opposite of what they profess that they believe in. And it's tied to political power, to hurt the citizens that don't belong to a certain group. And tied with that is often racism. So racism, like a theocracy, like ISIS running around the United States. You can call it vanilla ISIS. But the equivalent of ISIS running around the United States, just killing people, terrorizing people. That's one fear. Another fear is, I've talked about it before, breadbasket collapses, collapses of our food system and our delivery system of food, for whatever reason, leading to people going hungry. Like there's billions of people on this planet, people going hungry, but we've degraded our ecosystem. So what do you do for food? Well, you gotta grow some food in your whatever dirt that you have access to, and you gotta defend it because everyone's hungry. There's not enough food to go around. If the fossil fuel infrastructure falls apart, there's not enough food. So then what do people do for food? Well, they raid people's supplies, they raid people's farms, they kill whatever animals are in the forest. But we've already killed many of the wild mammals. There's hardly any deer left, and rabbits, and I guess there's rabbits left, but pretty quickly all those wild animals would be eaten. Pretty quickly the foods that you can forage in the forest will be taken because there's billions of humans. And then people are still going hungry because climate change prevents you from being able to grow food. You have unpredictable weather. You have torrential rains followed by droughts. You got temperatures that don't allow for plants to be healthy. Well, then you still got hungry people that are dying. They would rather not die. So what do? They resort to eating people. That's one of my fears. I think those are my two main fears. But yeah, no, I feel a lot of feelings about going through this time. I feel like things are breaking down. I feel like the this idea that we tell ourselves about how society should work and should function is it's becoming clear that it's just an illusion. It was just a fairy tale story that we told ourselves to like keep going. And it worked while there was an immense amount of fossil fuel energy coming in, when we were before the peak of fossil fuel production, extraction I should say. Even when we were at the peak, this idea that society works a certain way and there's justice and there are rules that everyone is held accountable to, it sort of still kind of worked. But I mean, people could see through the cracks in the facade and be like, oh no, I don't think I like what I see underneath. I don't think I like seeing what I caught a glimpse of, so I'm gonna just pretend I didn't see that. I'm gonna pretend like that doesn't exist. And you could do that, I think, through maybe the 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. There's more cracks now. But 20 teens and now 2020s, there's some big cracks, big cracks. You can't see the facade for what it is anymore. You only can see how it's barely concealing the rot, this horrifying thing that's behind it. At least that's what it seems like to me. So that brings me to what I wanted to talk about today, in addition to the insanity. Recentering in a time of insanity. Like I said, I feel like I get bent out of shape. I do get bent out of shape with all these things that are happening. So what do you do if you want to just keep living? If you want to keep being alive and experiencing, like, I just feel like I'm getting bent out of shape left and right. Like, what do I do? I want to keep living. I don't want to die. I mean, I'm okay if I die, but I choose to keep living right now. So how am I going to do that if I keep getting bent out of shape? Well, one thing that I've been learning about over the last couple weeks, last like 2 months, is something called Mindfulness-based stress relief, MBSR. My wife got me for my birthday present this year. She got me an 9-week course on mindfulness-based stress reduction. Where it's like a group session, and we learn from several instructors, and my wife has been doing it with me, and we're almost done with it. But it's been actually very interesting to me, and I want to share what I've learned, because I think it's very powerful. First, I would say that historically I've been very skeptical about these types of things. I was always skeptical about like the Buddhist idea of just becoming the observer without judgment. And I was always thinking, is that just like a way to placate yourself, to tranquilize yourself, to not feel anything anymore? This was my incorrect skepticism before. Like, isn't that just a way to trick yourself into like just being okay with the situation? Maybe it's just a way for people to be okay with being abused, to be okay with a crap, insane situation. I remember in medical school, we went to the lifestyle medicine part of the Duke University medical campus, and at that time I thought it was a bunch of frou-frou stuff, and we were sitting inside the mindfulness hut, and there was an instructor telling us about mindfulness, and I said, I think it's a bunch of baloney. And then the instructor got mad and was like, if you're not mindful, your wife's gonna leave you, your partner's gonna leave you, you're gonna suffer in your job, and you won't have any friends. And I was like, whoa, well, I don't think that guy's being mindful right now. That was really mean. But that's really stuck with me over the years. And so when my wife suggested, hey, why don't we do this mindfulness course, I remembered what that instructor said in medical school to me. And so I'll give it a shot. So I've been doing this. It's been really interesting. We've been doing a combination of things like body scans, where you sit with your eyes closed, or you can lay down with your eyes closed, and then you just pay attention to what each part of your body is feeling, starting with your toes, and you work your way up gradually. You can feel all sorts of things that I didn't realize you could feel, like your heart beating. You can feel your blood pulsating going from your heart to everywhere else, your extremities, your head, your toes. You can feel it coursing through your legs and then reflecting back as a wave. It's like, wow, I didn't know I could feel that. You can really feel your breath. You can even pay attention to your breath without voluntarily initiating the breath. And you realize, my body does a lot of things automatically. Like my heart beats automatically. A lot of times I'm breathing and I don't even realize I'm breathing. It's just done automatically. And then I'm grateful that my body does those things for me, automatically. I don't have to think about it all the time. I don't have to think about every heartbeat. That's pretty cool. But then there's this place that you can go to after that. And I do recommend that if you do this, to set a timer, an alarm, so that you can come back. Because there's a place that you can go where I feel like you could get lost for a really long time. Or not lost, you're not lost, but you're somewhere and it's not necessarily here. And I think it's good to have an alarm to pull you back to your body. How to get to that place. So I've only been there like a few times now, maybe 3 or 4 times. How do you get there? Well, this is an interesting thing. After you've been paying attention to your body and you're really present, then you just pay attention to your thoughts and where your thoughts go. But it is sort of from a observer that's not judging, just the awareness. You are the observer, and you're observing all these thoughts and feelings, memories, ideas. You're just observing them flow through you without judging, without feeling angry about it, or feeling like, I shouldn't be this way, or I should have done that, or I shouldn't be thinking about this, I should be focusing on my breath. No, you're just observing. And then it's like I go into this dream state, but I'm awake. It's not lucid dreaming where I'm controlling the dream, or maybe I am controlling the dream. So maybe it's lucid dreaming, but I don't think I'm really purposely trying to direct the dream, even though I may be directing it. But I'm not intentionally trying to direct the dream. but I'm dreaming and I'm awake. I have my eyes closed. But I'm in the dream just like you're in a dream when you're sleeping. You're somewhere else. You're living inside the dream, but you're not sleeping. And then I stay there until my alarm goes off, like 30 minutes later. And that alarm brings me back to my body, brings me back to where I am. And when I come back, I feel like my mind has been just washed clean. Like you see those like videos of people pressure washing like dirty sidewalks or old fences, and then that pressure washer just like brings out the beautiful color of the wood that it used to be like, or that the sidewalk becomes white instead of like a dirty gray just from the water. I love you too. Yeah. That's what, like, it feels like my mind got pressure washed, and then I can like be centered again. And here's the thing, I realized that it's not about like tranquilizing yourself or like making yourself okay with crap situations. I think that it recenters me so that I can be present and I can be aware of what's happening. I can actually see and feel and pay attention to how I feel about things, the ideas that are going through my mind, and what's happening around me. And I can have that space to respond instead of just automatically reacting to things or seeing things and reacting to it from a memory or an old feeling of anger or outrage. Instead of reacting to it from there, I can react to it. I can respond to it from a place of centeredness, of wholeness. Yeah, that's what I've been. That's what I've been practicing the last couple of weeks, and I think it's really powerful. So I wanted to share that. One thing that happens though is that because you're more aware and you're more present and you're more aware of your feelings, things are more intense. So seeing people blown up and video after video, it's really intense. Well, but I think it helps me survive and live in this world that we have. It's not a perfect world. It's far from perfect. It's insane. And I think it helps me live in an insane world. Well, speaking of being aware of the present, I am drenched in rain, and so is Doobie. So we're gonna go home and upload this video to the interwebs and see people comment, and I can read them and respond. I like doing that. All right, girl. Let's say bye to our channel. Have anything you want to say to our channel? You're a cutie. Let's go home. Bye.